In the depths of Yinchen Mountain, a once impoverished village has turned from a chrysalis into a butterfly in 37 years. Wide streets, neat buildings, emerging industries, and a beautiful environment. It records the vicissitudes of rural reform and development in mountainous areas, and tells the story of a person and a heart, leading the villagers to pull out the roots of poverty, run for a well-off life, seek revitalization, and create a legend of common prosperity. Witness the miracle created by a weak life, giving up life and forgetting death, dedication, and dedication. This person is Fan Jingxi, Secretary of the Party Committee of Suteza Village, Luanping County, Hebei Province, representative of the 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th National Congress of the Communist Party of China, and representative of the 14th National People's Congress. Fan Jingxi writing materials on the desk. Over the past 37 years, he has not forgotten his original intention, kept his mission firmly in mind, guided by party building, and always adhered to the idea of strengthening the team, building the foundation, and promoting development, making the grassroots party organizations full of cohesion, combat effectiveness, and affinity. He worked hard, made selfless dedication, fought against illness, raced against death, and devoted himself to the development and construction of the village. He led the villagers to build Suteza village, which is located in a poor mountainous area in northern Hebei, with a ditch between two mountains. It has built a rich new countryside with various assets of 1 billion yuan and villagers per capita net income of 31,000 yuan per year. It has realized urbanization of villages, environmental parks, welfare institutionalization, employment diversification, and management democratization. A successful example of revitalizing and realizing common prosperity. The whole picture of Suteza village. Fan Jingxi's contribution: hard work, turning Suteza village into a butterfly. Before 1987, Suteza village was poor collectively, the hearts of the people were scattered, and the village was chaotic. All the village's possessions were only 2 dilapidated houses, a table with 3 legs, a stool that fell apart, and one without a handle. The phone calls, and there is a mess in the village that no one has cleaned up. When no one in the village party secretary was willing to do it, Fan Jingxi, who had just returned from the army, resolutely shouldered the burden, because he did not forget the party's training, kept in mind his membership as a party member, and lived up to the great trust of the villagers. He started with the problems most strongly reflected by the masses, and cured poverty and chaos. Taking back the contracted mining site from his second brother first made him lose the opportunity to become a billionaire, thus smoothing out the contracting relationship with several other mining sites. It is this kind of selfless choice and dedication that has laid a solid foundation for the subsequent development of the village collective. He kept pace with the development of the times and led the villagers of Teza next week to experience 3 entrepreneurial innovations. From laying a solid agricultural foundation, to starting a business, enhancing collective strength, to transforming and upgrading, and comprehensively improving the quality of development, each achievement embodies his wisdom with hard work and painstaking efforts. Every breakthrough has been at the forefront of rural reform in mountainous areas. Fan Jingxi and the blueprint for planning and development of the 2 committees of the village. Relying on the National Rural Practical Talent Training Base of the Organization Department of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China and the Ministry of Agriculture, a talent training center has been established, and the training industry has been vigorously developed. A total of more than 40,000 rural practical talents have been trained, which has effectively boosted the greatness of poverty alleviation and rural revitalization business. Take the lead in setting up industries such as smart agriculture, agricultural tourism, and research. Conduct research and development and deep processing of agricultural products. Start the Green Suteza brand. Introduce high-tech projects for the research and development of plant protection drone equipment, and make the secondary and tertiary industry structure more reasonable. Green development and high-quality development are in the ascendant, making Suteza village continue to move forward steadily in the direction of excellent industries, strong collectives, and rich villagers. Fan Jingxi has always been at the forefront of rural reform, and has continuously benefited the people with the fruits of collective development, which fully embodies the spirit of the times of being brave in taking responsibility and working hard. Suteza village has successively won honors such as National Leisure Agriculture and Rural Tourism Demonstration Site, National Civilized Villages and Towns, National Happy Village, and National Model Senior Friendly Community. In 2011, Suteza village held a performance to welcome the Spring Festival. Achievements of Fan Jingxi reform and innovation, use practice to bear fruit of enriching the people. Fanjengsi has always taken the realization of the common prosperity of all villagers as the starting point and goal of all work, based on the reality of Sutesa village, and constantly explored and innovated. In agriculture, he built dams and repaired canals, developed rice fields, planted fruit trees, promoted new agricultural technologies, managed land on behalf of others, and built modern agricultural intelligent technology parks. In terms of industry, he carefully studied market conditions and went out to investigate in person. In the village, successively built a grass film factory, a bathtub factory, a sintering factory, and a pig farm, purchased the brick and tile factory run by the original town, built a firecracker factory, and a fruit processing factory. Star mining. In the tertiary industry, the county took the lead in building 3-star hotels, vigorously developed the training industry, and so on. Every step is a reform of old things, and it is an innovative practice that dares to be the first. Under the leadership of Fanjengsi, Sutesa village took the lead in the transformation of the old village and the construction of a new village, with standardized primary school teaching buildings and campuses, neat village residential buildings, water parks, villagers' cultural and leisure squares, welfare buildings, and apartments for the elderly, and 3 roads entering and leaving the village. The 3 bridges has changed the way of life of the villagers and pioneered the construction of new rural areas in the impoverished mountainous areas of Sibay. It is the first to explore the new model of land management on behalf of others, which is actually the first attempt at land transfer. It has created a modern agricultural company to promote agricultural transformation and upgrading, implement the quality improvement project of villagers and cultivate new socialist farmers, take the lead in implementing the construction of ecological civilization, which is a vivid practice before the 2 mountains theory is put forward, take the lead in realizing the collective pension, and explore effective ways to solve the problem of farmers' pension, take the lead in rural collective. The reform of the asset shareholding system has realized shared public welfare, shared benefits, shared dividends, and replenishment of public reserves. It is precisely because of Fanjengsi's spirit of daring to be the first and reform and innovation that he has always been at the forefront of rural development. Sutesa village has achieved breakthroughs time and time again, allowing the results of collective development to benefit the people, and the villagers' lives have basically achieved common prosperity. Fanjengsi visited the elderly in the apartment for the elderly. Fanjengsi's ambition: give up life and forget death, create a life without regrets with perseverance. Fanjengsi is not afraid of life and death, fights against illness, cares about the people, and works selflessly. As long as you live, you will fight for the people is his solemn oath. In 1992, he went out to investigate and accidentally came into contact with the chemical raw material magnesite, and contracted blood cancer. The treatment cost more than 100,000 yuan, which was an astronomical sum for an ordinary farmer at that time. At the most critical time, the villagers spontaneously donated money for him to cover the expenses and gave him a second life. He made up his mind: as long as he lives, he will do his best to let the villagers live a good life. It is the high hopes and affection of the villagers and the belief and pursuit of the Communist Party members that supported him to overcome unimaginable difficulties, sharpen his will to fight the disease to the end, and tenaciously overcome cancer. After he was discharged from the hospital, he always wanted to make the village rich and let the villagers live a good life. Regardless of the doctor's order to retreat for 3 years, he only took a rest for less than 3 months before throwing himself at work, setting his mind and running projects. Build factories, run businesses. While fighting against the god of death, he promoted the development of Sutesa village with amazing perseverance. Over the years, he has suffered from various diseases such as cerebral infarction, myocardial infarction, and dry eye disease. He has to take more than a dozen medicines every day. However, he still devotes himself to various undertakings in the village with full enthusiasm. Fanjengsi takes dozens of medicines every day. Fanjengsis love serving the people wholeheartedly, repaying the fathers and fellow villagers with common wealth. Over the years, Fanjengsi has always held a heart of gratitude and repaying the folks. The village has successively built public welfare projects such as apartments for the elderly, primary schools, and kindergartens. The most eye-catching and warming thing is that villagers over the age of 70 live in apartments for the elderly for free, and receive pensions according to different age groups every year. Sutesa village took the lead in building a well-off village in 1994. In October 2006, it was rated as a national model village for respecting the elderly, and was praised by the Central Party School as a model of new socialist countryside construction in poor mountainous areas. On June 30, 2020, it was awarded the People's Government of Hebei Province was rated as the leader of the province's rural revitalization. In 2021, it will be named National Demonstration Senior Friendly Community. Fan Jinxi led the whole village party members to revisit the oath of joining the party. Fan Jinxi, as the head of Zhou is dedicated to the village and has reached the state of no self. He has always emphasized with the two committees of the village, if you are poor, you must live a rich life, and if you are rich, you must live a poor life. We must be good stewards of the collective villagers. Fan Jinxi and the team of the village's two committees researched and formulated dozens of rules and regulations. In order to make finances more open and transparent, the village changed the signature from 1 pen to 5 pens. As long as it is a project in the village, no matter how big or small, the relatives of the two committees of the village are not allowed to get involved. Although the family background in the village is solid, the benefits of Fan Jinxi and his team members are the same as those of ordinary villagers. He often said, I am a party member and I am also the head of the village. I must walk right and behave well. In the past 37 years, he has not reimbursed a penny of medical expenses in the village, and he does not receive subsidies when he goes out. Pay relevant fees. Fan Jinxi works for everyone's welfare, but of course offends the interests of individual people, and some people even threaten to fight him desperately. On a snowy night, a bowl-sized stone broke through the window and hit his wife on the head, bleeding profusely. Afterwards, some well-meaning people advised him to less offend others. Fan Jinxi said, it's because some people want to take advantage of the collective, and they can't pass my test, so they hate me so much. I will stand straight against this stone, protect the interests of the village collective, and lead everyone to become prosperous together. Suffered there have been many cases of personal abuse and petitions to file complaints. However, Fan Jinxi doesn't care about these things. All he does is for the promise of let the villagers live a good life if they work hard. Without Secretary Fan, we would not have our happy life today. I thank him from the bottom of my heart. This is the common aspiration of most villagers in the village. In 2002, Fan Jinxi was elected as a representative of the 16th National Congress of the Communist Party of China. When he attended the meeting in Beijing, the villagers took to the streets, set off firecrackers, and sang and danced. The reason why Fan Jinxi's dedication can be widely loved by the masses is that he has always closely linked his growth, development, and the realization of his life value with this land and the folks here. Only then can we have a broad mind, a feeling of serving the people wholeheartedly, and a spirit of selfless dedication. He fully embodies the deep affection between grassroots party members and cadres in the new era and the flesh and blood with the masses, and shows the new realm of the relationship between the party and the masses in the new era. He interprets the communists' desperate spirit of selflessness and live up to the people with practical actions. Fan Jinxi attended the 19th Party Congress. The glory of Fan Jinxi, the courage to take responsibility, and never change the true nature of party members. Party members and cadres must do things for the masses is Fan Jinxi's solemn promise. All achievements in the development of Suteza village should be attributed to Fan Jinxi, who has always been loyal to the party's cause, kept in mind the party's purpose, and always took serving the masses and benefiting the villagers as his original aspiration and mission, and worked unremittingly for it. People's Daily, Guangming Daily, Economic Daily, Farmers Daily, China Organization and Personnel News, Hebei Daily, Xinhua Net, Seeking Truth, Party Construction, Rural Communication Magazine, Communist Party Members, Hebei News Network, Party Construction Research and many other newspapers and periodicals reported the advanced deeds of Fan Jinxi and Suteza village nearly 1,000 times. As the secretary of the grassroots party branch, Fan Jinxi not only attended the National Party Congress 4 times in a row, but was also hired as the first special inspector of the National Supervisory Commission and was elected as a representative of the 14th National People's Congress. Has won more than 30 provincial and ministerial honors such as National Model Worker, National Outstanding Communist Party Member, National Most Beautiful Grassroots Cadre, National Model Veteran, National Top 10 Sun Figures, National Meritorious Village Official. He was personally interviewed by Xi Jinping and other party and state leaders. His deeds were made into an audiovisual film by the Organization Department of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China. His film We Are Relatives was screened nationwide. He was also invited to attend the National Day ceremonies commemorating the 70th anniversary of the victory of the anti-Japanese War and the 70th birthday of the founding of the People's Republic of China. participated in the opening ceremony of the Beijing Winter Olympics and participated in passing the national flag. Fan Zhengxi summed up his experience: "There is no foundation, which is more solid than being rooted in the people, no power, which is more powerful than the support of the masses, no honor, which is more precious than winning the hearts of the people." For this reason, he has been loyal to the party for decades, caring for the masses, and unswervingly fulfilling his oath for decades. In the mid-1990s, Zhang Quanquan, then head of the organization department of the CPC Central Committee, gave instructions to Fan Zhengxi. Fan Zhengxi should be elected as party branch secretary in rural areas. The 7 news centers received interviews from dozens of Chinese and foreign journalists. After the meeting, he was invited to give a report at Tsinghua University. In January 2008, Xi Jinping, then member of the Standing Committee of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee and Secretary of the Central Secretariat, went to Hebei Province for investigation and research and held a symposium. Fan Zhengxi made a report at the meeting. After the meeting, Xi Jinping held Fan Zhengxi's hand tightly and said, "I am deeply moved that you have been able to stick to your post as the village party secretary despite such a serious illness. It is precisely because of excellent grassroots cadres like you that the various undertakings in our countryside are advancing steadily." He also earnestly urged Fan Zhengxi to take good care of his health, as only by taking good care of his body can he serve the people better and make more contributions to rural development. This is the full affirmation and cordial care of Fan Zhengxi by the leaders of the party and the state. The beautiful living environment of Suteza village. Self-reliance and hard work are important magic weapons for our party in the journey of revolution, construction, and reform. Fan Zhengxi has worked as the secretary of the village party branch for 37 years. He has fought against various diseases such as blood cancer, cerebral infarction, and myocardial infarction for more than 30 years. Always maintain the mental state of especially able to endure hardship, especially able to fight, especially able to contribute, and especially dare to take responsibility. He is always on the way to create commonwealth for the collective and seek happiness for the people.